Hello, I'm Kent Holland. I'm with Construction Risk LLC. I am presenting this short video on managing the risk of preliminary design when a designer is working for a contractor under a design-build guaranteed maximum price contract. And what I am finding in negotiating contracts where the designer, my client, is working for a design builder is the liability is getting worse every year. The contracts between the owners and the contractors are getting worse, and the contractors are flowing down requirements to the designer that are not reasonable, that are uninsurable, things like cost overruns. So the guaranteed maximum price contract, the owner requires the contractor to give up their rights to normal cost overruns, for example. You'll often see clauses that make it difficult to make a differing site condition claim. The contractor has to give up its ability to rely on documents and information provided by the project owner. And then when that owner cannot, when the contractor cannot recover from the owner for those costs, what it does is it will simply go and sue the design firm that was its subconsultant, intending to get insurance coverage for those economic losses by the contractor. So what we have done is prepared a preliminary design standard of care that we had tried to negotiate into all of our teaming agreements. So the teaming agreement, I've explained the problem, and here's the solution. I'm going to just give you this contract clause, and I recommend that you try to negotiate something like this. What it says is that we're only giving you preliminary designs. These are not 100% construction documents. Don't rely on them like they are. We're going to be judged by the standard of the care applicable to preliminary design, and the contractor itself is responsible for setting contingencies and doing all the final cost estimating and quality or quantity estimating. Very important clause. The other important clause to add is a limitation of liability. So what we like to do is, if this is going to be a multi-million, or actually I'm working on billion-dollar projects now, what I recommend is that in the teaming agreement, the parties agree to a reasonable limitation of liability clause that has a much smaller limitation amount than what you may ultimately put into the actual subcontract agreement. It's important that that limitation amount survives the subcontract. So if you get sued later, 3 years later, but the contractor is really suing you for something that happened during the preliminary phase, you want that LOL, which may have been only a small amount, to apply to those claims. So it's important to make those survive. So those are the 2 points that I will make in today's short webinar. If you have any questions on this, please give me a call. My phone number and my email address is right here on the slide.